Alright, quick update on basic attention token. So we've pretty much hit our price target that we were talking about all the way since we were down here at 70 cent. I started making videos for that a couple of weeks ago, and I basically outlined, if we look at the macro market perspective on this, it is extremely bullish. I've got these two green lines in the sand right here, and you can see that this was resistance all the way back here until we hopped above it. And then I've got this green trend line as well, and we've done nothing but uptrend on these trend lines since, well, this one we've been stuck underneath it since 2019, but once we did flip above it, it was such a very macro level of support that we've been managing to hold above. All in all, basic attention token looks amazing right now in the short term. Or actually, let's start off with the macro term. Obviously, we just touched on these trend lines, but using this big macro fib right here, you can see that since my last video, we have just broken above this 618 Fibonacci retracement at the 84 cents. So, you know, basic attention token, if it wasn't looking amazingly bullish before, it's looking amazing already. Now, we did have a small trade on basic attention token waiting for us to come all the way up to this 200-day moving average at the 92 cent region, and we came up to 90 cent today. So we basically pretty much filled our target. I haven't completely filled it yet, but all in all, basic attention token still does look pretty good. Now, on the daily and basically on the daily, we do look a little bit overextended for my liking, but I have been talking about the scenario of pushing up above the 200-day moving average and then, you know, cooling off for a little bit while the 200-day moving average tapers down like this, and then we could potentially have a retest and another massive push up after we do manage to reset the RSI. Now, if we look at this on a more macro term as well, you can see if we come down to the weekly, there is so much space for an uptrend, which is why I am thinking it's extremely likely that in the short term we could just poke our head above the 200-day, cool off for a couple of weeks while we do trade on this 200-day moving average, and then we could have a massive rally. The first target, we've got our 0.5 fib here at $1.06. If we break through that, we've got $1.26, which is a very nice jump, and then after that $1.51, and then basically it's the all-time high. Let me adjust this a tiny bit more, but you can see this would be leading us all the way up to 192. As we are above the macro 618, I do think that we are going to be coming to retest the all-time highs within the next couple of months. Now, obviously these aren't targets for the next week, these aren't targets for the next couple of days. These are macro targets that I do have my eyes on. After we do break the all-time high, we can start talking about big price targets starting off with 270, but let's focus on the short term right now. So when we do come down to the daily, like I said, I mean, there's crazy amounts of green volume stepping in right now. I mean, if we do zoom in a bit, you can see there's barely any red volume going on anymore. We are having massive green volume since we have started this uptrend. And when we drew our fibs, we said, you know, as long as we stay above this 618 here at 74 cent, then we are extremely bullish and likely for a move to the upside. We never even came anywhere near these 618s. We never even came down to the 0.5. We just sliced through the 382, so I mean, this is exceptionally bullish. If we draw it from the absolute bottom, you can see that we didn't even come to the 382. So all in all, basic attention token looks absolutely great right now. I am in a small trade on this, like I said, but do bear in mind I did get in when we were around about this region here, around about the 70 cents, talking about a big move up to the 200-day moving average. This was a 30% move. So far we've already done more than 28% of that move, so this was a great trade. I hope some of you were able to get in on it as well. Don't know why that was so hard to say, but yeah, I mean, what I'm personally looking for now is for us to push above the 200-day. I've been talking about this for ages. Once we do get above the 200-day, you could see a very euphoric rally, potentially all the way up to the $1.02. Doesn't have to go that high, but you know, that is personally the max level where I think we would top out locally in the short term. And then I think we'd be coming down, like I said. This would give us a lot of time to reset the daily RSI and the daily money flow indicator. We could do something like this, and then we'd have a lot more space to run up. this is the kind of scenario that I'm looking for. But all in all, you know, basically basic attention token looks great. Like I said, you know, I'm saying this is the max level that I think we are going to come up to in the short term, just because the RSI is very overextended on the daily. But you know, if we come down to the weekly as well, like I said, there is so much room for basic attention token to have a complete, you know, face rip. Previously, when we have had these big rallies, you can see, you know, we put in 4 green weekly candles, then we had 1 red weekly candle, 3 greens, 1 red, 1, 2, 3 greens, and 1 red. So far we've had 3 green candles, 3 green weekly candles. So if we are kind of following the trajectory of this, I do think, you know, perhaps we've got to the end of this week, perhaps we have 1 more week, something like this, where, like I said, this could bring us up to the $1.02 region, and then we could have that red candle come in, where we do just have a back test of the 92-cent region on the 200-day moving average before we do have a massive push up to the upside. And I am personally expecting that once we do solidly break and retest the 92-cent, we would be coming for the all-time highs. So that is basically all I see for basic attention token. We look great in the short term, we look great in the long term. All in all, this coin seems to be really performing well, and yeah, doing amazing. There's nothing else to say for it. So best of luck if you are holding basic attention token. And once again, none of this is financial advice, it's just my own opinion on the market, and you've always got to do what's best for you. Go way out. Peace.